Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Activity Resume Workshop. I'm Debbie Cantor from North Shore College Consulting, and I am going to be walking you through the process of getting started on your resume. First, it's important to know what an activity resume is. After test scores and grades, admissions officers want to know how you spent your time. Involvement in activities or volunteer groups, anything can make you stand out in the college application process. Are you a leader? Have you achieved a level of talent? How do your activities make you distinctly different from others with similar interests? A resume is simply an overview of your accomplishments during high school. It shows how you spent your time while in high school and your level of involvement in each activity. It really tells a lot about who you are, including your skills, interests, and values. So here is a picture of what a resume can look like. I know it might be hard to see on the screen, but we'll be giving you templates to follow in your North Shore College Consulting portals. You can also look for formats or templates in any word processing program or create your own. You don't have to follow our exact format. Here's a second page of that resume. So we're going to be talking in detail about all of these sections. There's you're naming the organization and your position here. There's some bullet points of what you were involved in that organization, and then the grades that you participated in that. As we get started, we want to make one thing very clear. You are not your resume. We don't want you comparing your resume to anybody else's. The length of your resume and the number of activities you list is not what is most important. What is most important is, are you showcasing your personal interests and your own talents? We want you to work with what you have. Now that you know what a resume is, let's talk about why you need one. Creating a resume is going to help you organize all of your activities in one place and really make you think through your responsibilities and how you want to describe them. This will ultimately help you when you create the shorter activity section in the college application. Most of you will likely be using the Common Application and possibly a few other application platforms like the Coalition application. Many colleges have their own application platform, but since the Common App is the most used application, we're going to take a look at that for 1 minute. Here you see the activity section in the Common Application. There is room for 10 activities. You may have more, which you'll have to figure out which ones you're going to include. You may have less, and that is fine. The number of activities is not important, but the details are. And the one problem with the activity section are this detail section only allows room for 150 characters. That includes spaces, that includes punctuation. So that's not a lot of room. That's why we love it when a college will take a resume as well. But after your resume is done, we're going to look at it. We're going to highlight the most important parts, and that's what we're going to then put into your activity section in your application. As you saw in this video, the activity section doesn't give you a lot of room. That's why some colleges say, we want to see more. And they allow you to upload your resume either within the application or when they send you a status portal after you've submitted your application, sometimes there's space there to upload something. This screenshot here is from the Common Application, and you can upload a PDF version from your computer. You can even upload directly from your Google Drive. But the nice thing about the resume that you're submitting, it is your own format. You get to control that. Additionally, the resume can be helpful for any teachers or your counselor who are writing your letter of recommendation. It's going to let them understand who you are beyond the classroom. And of course, if you do have an interview, you want to give that to the person conducting the interview, because maybe that helps control what you're going to talk about. They might ask questions directly off your resume, which makes it a lot less stressful. Okay, so let's get to it. What are you going to include on a resume? Hopefully you've all been keeping track of your activities throughout the last couple of years. We've given you activity trackers to fill out. We don't want you to leave anything out. So if you haven't been keeping track of your activities, the very first thing you should do is brainstorm and make a list of everything you have been doing and when you did that. So you want to make sure you include all of your involvement since the start of high school, really the summer before you started high school. These can be activities you participated inside or outside of school. They don't even have to be formal activities. If it's something you did on your own independently, that's okay too. Beyond just listing the clubs you belonged to or the jobs you had, you want to list your positions or roles. So team member, captain, volunteer, sales associate. You get the picture. You want to describe what you did specifically. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. And in some cases, you'll want the years and dates of participation always. In some cases, hours of participation will be asked for. For instance, the University of Texas has specific information they want to see, which includes the hours of participation in any activity. Here's an example of how one activity can look on a resume. You see the overall activity here is Giant Splash. And then the student divided the activity into the different roles she had so she could describe them. So president, volunteer instructor, and then she shows the grades that she participated in that. So we're going to talk right now about these descriptions and get into some details on that. How you describe your activities can help an admissions officer get to know what you do and how responsible you are. You want to show them that through these descriptions, you're someone who will get involved and make a difference on campus. When working on your descriptions, it may help you to look at the website for whatever organization you participated in or club, but don't make the mistake of describing what the organization does instead of what you did specifically. The organization itself is not what's important, but your contribution is what they want to know about. So with that in mind, we're going to look at two descriptions and talk about which one would be better for this purpose. The first one says, Special Olympics is the world's largest sports organization for children and adults with intellectual and/or physical disabilities, providing year-round training and competitions. Or the second description says, trained prospective Special Olympic athletes during swim clinics by teaching skills and preparing athletes for qualifying trials. Helped 25 athletes qualify to compete. So the first description is just telling someone what Special Olympics is. The second description is what we like, where it tells what the student did for the Special Olympics. Another tip when doing your descriptions is go beyond the obvious. You don't want to just say you volunteered at a soup kitchen, for instance, but rather you want to tell them more. Did you collect donations? Did you cook? Did you serve? Did you clean up? Did you interact with patrons to provide them some social interaction? Activity descriptions that have more details are much more intriguing to the admissions officers. So you can see the first description here is swam on varsity team all years. It's pretty basic. The second one, actively participated on team, including all practices and meets, competed in the 100 breaststroke event and the 50 breaststroke in the medley relay, beat personal record for 100 by 12 seconds. So this B definitely goes beyond the obvious. A is probably just repeating what you've already said. You've said you were a swimmer for a high school team, and you should give them more details if you can. You want to include tangible and measurable impacts, numbers if you have them or can gather them. Who did your activity help? How many people did it help? How many people did you get involved in the activity? How much money did you raise? So let's take a look at these examples. First one says raised money for annual charity drive. The second one says planned and coordinated the silent auction, collecting donations from local stores and businesses to auction off raising over $40,000 for the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. The first one is fine. Something short like that may end up in the activity section of the application, but for the purposes of the resume, we like B. We like the details. We like the numbers. Use action verbs. You don't want to use the same action verbs. You should use a variety of action verbs. So don't always say you helped or you participated. Be creative. Come up with other language that really tells them what you've done. Here are some examples of some action verbs. Clearly, there are way more action verbs out there than what we're listing here. And in fact, we are going to give you a list in your North Shore College Consulting portal in the Files tab. We're going to give you a list of other action verbs you can use. But again, even beyond that list, you'll probably be able to come up with some others on your own. So now that you know a little more about how to describe your activities, let's talk about organizing your activities. First, an activity resume is different from an employment resume, and you have to remember this. It can be multiple pages, and you don't need to start your resume out with a goal or an objective. You might ask an adult to proofread, and then they're going to look at it and say, this can only be 1 page. This is much too long. A 1-page resume is going to look like that activity section that we previewed a little while ago from the Common Application. College that wants a resume wants more. So the rules for employment resumes do not apply here. So how are you going to order your activities? There's really no right or wrong answer, but we recommend that you list similar activities together. So if you have a lot of volunteer activities or all tennis activities, you could put those together. We want you to list your most important activities first, the activities that are most important to you. If an admissions officer got interrupted while they were looking at your resume and only saw part of it, what do you want to make sure it is that they saw? You want to list your more recent activities and positions first and the rest in descending date order. So if you were on a junior varsity team freshman and sophomore year and a varsity team senior year, junior and senior year, you would want to list the varsity team and any positions you had within that first. And then underneath that, you would list your freshman and sophomore years. Depending on your own activities, you may want to create categories that make sense for you. Some students don't have activities that fall into neat categories, and that's fine. For those that have things that make some sort of sense to go into a category, we think you can use it. It makes it a little bit easier to read. So some examples of categories are academics. Maybe you're taking a class on your own, or maybe you're part of an academic club like a math club or something like that, a math team. That can go under academics. Awards and honors you can list. Athletics, so if you're on multiple sports or you do a lot within one sport, you could have this athletic category. If you're very involved in music or art or theater, you might have a category for those. Leadership may fall within your other categories. If you're a leader on a team for a sport, that might go under athletics. But if you have separate leadership activities, maybe you've gone to some leadership conferences or things like that, that could go in a leadership category. Volunteer, maybe you're going to list all your community service here. Employment, any jobs you've had. Skills, hobbies, special interests. Is there anything else you want them to know about you? Do you have lots of languages that you speak or computer languages that you know? Or do you sew, or do you collect something interesting that you want to add? And then again, depending on your activities, you might come up with your own categories. These are not the only categories you can use in a resume. Before we go, we do want to give you just a few pieces of advice about what not to do in your resume. So first, Don't use personal pronouns. There's no need for those here. So I, he, we. Instead of I volunteered, you can just start out with your action verb. Volunteered for whatever. Don't abbreviate unless there is a length restriction for some reason. Again, the beauty of a resume is there shouldn't be too much of a restriction, but if there is, then maybe you're going to have to abbreviate, but save the abbreviations for the application where there is a space restriction. So for example, don't say NTHS, but rather spell out New Trier High School. Don't have any typos. We are absolutely going to help you with this. We are going to be reviewing and going back and forth with you on your resume. So we'll be looking for those too. But you want to show that you took the time and really spent time on this resume because you care about your application and this college that you're submitting it to in particular. Don't copy descriptions exactly from samples on the website. Or from any samples we've given you. You don't want every college to get the same description from all the students that are applying. You don't want an admission officer who maybe looked up your organization or your group and see you copied something from a website. And most importantly, don't lie. Don't say you did something or part of something that you were not. In the end, we want you to remember that this is your resume. You have the freedom to present it however you feel best highlights your strengths and accomplishments. We are here to make suggestions and help you through the process, but you do get a little bit of creative room here to really make it your own. So where do you go from here? You want to get started on the draft of your resume. We've put 2 templates in your North Shore College Consulting portal. You just want to go down to the Files tab and look in the General folder. And if you like one of those templates, you can simply pick one and start typing over the information in there with your own information. If you prefer to come up with your own, feel free. If you don't remember how to log into your North Shore College Consulting portal, send us a note and we will help you out. We would love to see a draft from you by 2 weeks from the day we put out our first activity resume workshop, which was February 3rd. So we would like to hear from you by Wednesday, February 17th with your draft of your resume. Don't worry about formatting yet in terms of tabs and lining things up. We're going to go back and forth with you many times, helping you add important details. So just do the best you can, but this draft does not have to be even close to perfect. You're going to share your resume with your own North Shore College Consulting counselor when you're ready, and we'll review it and send it back with some suggestions. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you have any questions about anything we just discussed here, please don't hesitate to reach out to your North Shore College Consulting counselor. Have a great night.